you're just asking for a big play, you know. A little bit like what happened that first play at the LSU game. I mean, take that. We all know we had the extra guys right there at 3 yards, but there was a lot of air on either side. And boom, you know, guys, when you play good players, there's going to miss tackles. I mean, it happens in the NFL every week when you're playing these really good players. Now, you got to minimize the number of missed tackles. You got to play with good technique when you tackle. I think a lot of times people come up there and they're so, you know, you can get a little bit starry-eyed, so you don't use good tackling technique. You got to go play fast and confident and physical and gang tackle.
Derek, as you look at the SEC East standings, you see every team's got at least 2 losses at this point. Does that surprise you? And as badly as things have gone here, I know you talk about kind of one game at a time. But
Yeah.
Does that maybe give the team a little bit of life?
God, if we're looking at the SEC East standings, we got real problems. We need to be looking at our team and how we can win a football game. I mean, what is this, the 5th double-digit, you know, blowout prediction that we're going to play? Is that right?
At least
4?
At least 4.
So we're talking about the SEC standings?
Well, are you surprised that every team in the East already has at least 2 losses?
I think it's obviously unique, but it happens. I mean, you know, in 01, we made it to the Dome at 5-3, 3-way tie. So it's going to happen. It's cyclical, you know. Sometimes, but your point is right. I mean, 7-1, you know, when you go 6-2, may not get there. And certainly, as dominant as Florida has been, you know, in recent years, that's what probably has changed. So, yeah, it's a lot. It's probably unique to this time of year. And
Derek, at this point in the season, do you have any other options with a return game, or do you? I mean, obviously coming off the Georgia game.
yeah, we're going to give Eric. We're going to stick with Eric. Not a lot of options. We could make a change, you know, but Eric has knock on wood, been really the most dependable day-to-day catcher. And, you know, he muffed a punt. And the kickoff was a technique issue. He's switching the ball when he shouldn't be switching the ball, and they hit him right when he switched it. So hopefully we'll work the technique, and he won't do that again. And, you know, he's a freshman. So I hate to just throw the guy on the shelf right now, especially given that there's not an obvious replacement. But if we, you know, feel like we need to make a change, we'll make a change. We got Jansen we can always throw back there. Rajon Neal returned, you know, we put him in the Georgia game, dropped it, scooped it up one-handed 3 yards deep in the end zone.
That's why you coach it.
Yeah, I mean, just how we worked it in practice. You see some stuff out there now. I'm thinking the same thing y'all are. You know, who's coaching these guys? And the answer is me. That's the problem. We certainly don't coach that.
Dick, what impresses you most about Alabama?
One second though, I mean, it's just hard to go shelf guys when they're freshmen. I wish I didn't have to put a freshman out there. And what I'm saying is there hadn't been a history of that in practice. And he's gone several games without that, so I hate to, you know, he wasn't the only one that played poorly last week. So we'll ride him out a little bit more. And I may be, you know, saying, boy, that was stupid, or we get through it. What's that, Jim?
What impresses you most about Alabama's defense?
Well, first of all, it's nearly impossible to run the ball. I think they've gone how many games without a 100-yard rusher?
29.
Yeah, that's pretty, you know. That isn't luck. They got some stout guys up front. I mean stout. Thick. They play with great pad level, and there's just not a lot of room in there. And they fly to the ball. And then, like they always do, they get you behind the chains, and then here comes Hayek, which is, affect the quarterback. And so, and that, I mean, Ole Miss had what, 40 yards at halftime, 47 yards at halftime. That's not luck. I mean, that's good defense.
Gary, did you look at the film of the South Carolina game, Alabama game?
Mm-hmm.
What did you see that was different about that game than the other games Alabama's played?
Well, I saw their opponent played a great football game. They really were energized. They broke tackles. They made one-handed catches. They made catches with a guy in perfect position, pulling the jerseys, And so I didn't see Alabama playing poorly. I saw a team really playing a great game. And I saw a back break tackles like not many backs have done, just like he's done against everybody. I mean, you see how important a guy is like that. And you saw it last week, how important he is. So it takes a real special effort to do what they did.
Coach, you said you were going to work Tyler in. Do you have a set plan for that, or you're not giving that?
No, not, we'll figure it out. Let's watch this week of practice and see where we go. But we're going to play him. We're going to play him. We'll play him early. Try to play him early, I don't want to get to halftime and we haven't. But sometimes you never know how the game goes, so.
Obviously, stopping their running game is a focus. If you are able to do that, talk about the matchups as they try to throw the ball.
Well, our matchup against any passing attack has not been good. As long as they're running routes and throwing the ball, it's a bad matchup. And but we need to play more aggressive, and I've made that comment. I feel like we just need to play more aggressive, and if it means we give up some plays, then that's what we got to do. They got a solid pass game. I mean, they got all the parts. So I think we got to continue to try to put pressure on the quarterback. We've made some progress the last couple of weeks at that, getting a little better. And that's the key to any good pass defense is quick pressure on the quarterback. And then we got to play aggressive in the back end. And I think we'll get better at it.
When you say play aggressive, do you mean the players or the scheme?
The players, play more confident and aggressive. When you're a little nervous and apprehensive, you back out of there. Well, then it's when they catch a pass and you got 5 yards of space, you got to get the guy down. And when you're playing aggressive, it's a little more. You're getting your hands on them, you're knocking them around, you're grabbing them a little, and you're not worried about getting thrown over the top. So you're seeing crossers, you're coming up there and cutting them, you're hitting them. It's just playing aggressive, challenging the receivers. And it's like being in the yard. You're going to challenge them or not. And when you don't challenge a good team and a good quarterback receiver, and you're just kind of hoping, I'm going to be in the right area and I hope they don't complete it, you're going to end up getting up a lot of yards, and that's what we've done. So we're going to keep coaching it, get them to play a little more aggressive, hope we don't give up some shots.
How much help is that, Eric, when you've got a guy like Prentice that you're having to hold out in practice and can't really let him hit? I mean, how difficult is it to make that transition to being aggressive on Saturday?
I think it's hard to be a good physical tackler, no question. And when you're not playing It's hard to go a week and you don't have contact, and then you gotta go into a game that is a collision. You know, it's 75 snaps of collision. And now he's gone 2 weeks, so yeah, it's a little bit of an issue. It's not what you want. You know, could you get by with it with a real veteran, aggressive, nasty guy? Yeah, probably get by with it. What were you saying, Jimmy, about Julio?
Yeah, how good do you think Julio's doing?
He's good. Yeah, he's good. He's good enough to wear us out.
You see comparisons between him and Green?
Yeah, I don't. They're all good. They're all good. I'd take them all. All right, guys. Thanks a lot.